Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, Professor Anand Agrawal. It's
Very good morning.
nice to meet you. Receive a warm welcome from the U.Porto University General Council, from which I am the president. I am in this table with the vice president and the secretary of the council. All the other members, you will know them. They are here on my right. Let's begin with this with your presentation. We have received all the necessary documents. We thank you very much for your interest on the U.Porto University interest and on being part of this important moment for us. And we will hear from you the first 30 minutes of your ideas, your curriculum, your main features of your candidature. And afterwards, we will have questions from the members of the General Council. Those questions will have in each case they will have 1 minute, and you will have 2.5 minutes to each answer, and we will fulfill the maximum of 1 hour. 1 hour more. So let's perhaps begin. The floor is yours. We will be very interested in hearing what you have to communicate us today, besides what we already know, which is the documents that you presented. But thank you again, and good luck. And the floor is yours. Thank you.
Thank you. A very good morning to the President of General Council, Vice President and Secretary, and a good morning to all the members of the General Council and other members of the university there. First of all, I want to say thank you to all of you for giving me this opportunity to have an online meeting and interaction with all of you here today. So with that, I am starting my presentation by sharing my screen. And I will want a confirmation if the screen is working and if all of you can see this presentation now. I hope all of you are able to see the presentation. Is it visible to everyone?
It's all right. It's very visible. Thank you.
Thank you. So the title of my presentation is Transforming Education, Internationalizing Porto, and Creating a Sustainable University with Stability in the University. My name is Professor Anand Agrawal. I consider myself as a global citizen. I have lived and worked in various countries, in 5 countries with renowned institutions, and also I have worked with the industry and corporate organizations. I have worked in India, Malaysia, Philippines, United Arab Emirates, and Ghana, and you can see the logos of the places, institutions I have worked with. I have worked in progressive roles as head of departments, program director, deanship, and rector. So how I'm going to make this presentation, I want to describe first of all the modus operandi. How I created this presentation is also important to present. So I first of all immersed myself. I went through an immersion process by getting the online information about the University of Porto and about the city and the country. through the websites, news, and blogs, through the videos of 2018 candidates of the rector election in the YouTube. Also studied the strategic plan document of the University of Porto of 2016 to 20, which is available in the website. And I have studied the manifesto of General Council election lists, which is available online. All this information provided me the data to make a sense, and I could make sense of the current issues and concerns in the University of Porto, the challenges which are needed at this point of time in the university, and it has helped me in coming up with some commitment. And the commitment is that we can work for the futuristic and sustainable institution building of the university using balanced scorecard in a comprehensive manner. And the most important point is that we need to keep the stability of the university. We cannot create a chaos or disturb the university while making a transition, while having a transformation and change in the university. We have to keep the stability also. The presentation has a structure. There is a flow. We'll first start with the context of the university. Then we will focus on the issues and needs which I have found through my immersion. We'll go to the 4-year plan, the action steps and timelines. And we will also discuss the list of success factors, the benefits from this plan, and the limitations of my plan also. Let's see the context first. University of Porto is a very established university. In March this year, it celebrated 111 years, and it has created a very impressive legacy throughout the years. It's a very popular research-oriented university with 50+ research centers and very impressive research output. In QS World Ranking, it is highly ranked. The rank is 295, the latest rank. And the University of Porto is claimed as the most international university in Portugal because of the number of international students and various agreements with international organizations. So actually, it is a matter of pride, and there is a case to celebrate the success of the University of Porto because it has created a very impressive legacy over the years. Let's see the history through the previous rectors of the university. There has been 20 rectors in the University of Porto, all males, no female till now. All rectors hail from Portugal. No rector was from a foreign country. And most of the rectors are from the fields of medicine and engineering. I could find one rector from the field of law and one rector from the field of history till now. What this all suggests, it provides a picture which is very interesting because it also suggests some limitations and a lack of diversity in the portfolio of rectors throughout the history of University of Porto. What are the major issues and needs of the university? I could actually embark on the major priorities which I could make sense and I could find out. The first one is the internationalization of the Porto. University of Porto, it is needed because at this point of time, internationalization and globalization is somewhat critical because of the transition and changes in the world. There's a need for sustainability of the organization of the university and also a transformation in the university. There are 3 major priorities: internationalization, sustainability, and transformation. These priorities are also embedded in the 7 themes which I have prepared, which we can work together as teams. Before we go to 7 themes, we need to understand that we cannot solve our problems with the same thinking we used when we created them. The first theme is the internationalization, which is reflected through global recognition and rankings. Futuristic education is another need at this point of time for all the universities around the world, not only for University of Porto, which is reflected through flexible, digital, and skill-focused programs for the students. There is a need for increase in internal collaborations, where the members of the universities of different departments and centers and different units work by spanning the boundaries. It means they work across the departments and units and centers. University also has to be very much oriented towards the community by focusing on the third mission and beyond. There is a need to review the working conditions of the university while focusing on the personal and career development of every member of the university. We need to have a collaborative governance in the university with very collaborative and participative strategy and management practices. At the same time, there is a need to work on the sustainability, long-term sustainability of the university in terms of financial sustainability and also in terms of brand and positioning of the University of Porto in the world. So these are the 7 themes I'm going to talk about. I have used a framework to present the 7 themes and the 4-year plan. This framework is called 5W and H. Basically, it is who, what, why, when, where, and how. Why every theme is important. Each theme is described as important and the reason for the importance is provided. What exists already and what is needed to be done is also described. How to get what is needed. And the 4-year plan contains who will do what and how, the method of implementing the plan, and what activities will be done when and where. So this presentation includes the 7 themes and the 4-year plan, and this all is embedded in the framework of 5W and H. When we talk about internationalization reflected through global recognition and ranking, we all are understanding that there is a need to open the university to the world by internationalizing the research and teaching and by establishing centers of excellence through international partnerships and by increase in mobility of the students and staff. Why it is important to have internationalization? Because I have studied in the website and in various platforms that University of Porto is ambitious to be top 100 in the world. And we cannot be top 100 in the world without being international. To be international, it is also important to see the score of the QS World Ranking of International Faculty Ratio in the university. At this point of time, the ratio is just 2.1. It's a very, very low score for international faculty ratio. If we improve this international faculty ratio score, there's a very, very high chance that the QS World Ranking and the ranking of the university will go up substantially. So we need to improve the existing international faculty ratio score also. It means not only the university has to open to the world, it also means the world has to be open to the university. We need to open the world to the university. What is the desired situation? What do we want? We want international impact in the University of Porto, through the University of Porto. To create this international impact, it is important to recruit and retain the talent from the whole world. The global, talented, full-time international faculty members are needed. At the same time, the total faculty-student ratio in the QS World Ranking for the University of Porto is also low. So we have to increase the faculty-student ratio also. So we have to also continue the retention and the recruitment of national faculty members also. We have to adopt international standards and strive for international research. International partnerships are also needed. For example, international partnerships with the activities of UPTEC, UPTech, international partnerships to launch the Teaching and Learning Center, and international partnerships in the third mission activities also. Now, what I'm presenting is that the implementation of these activities is not a job of only the rector office. It's all the university members have to work together. All the stakeholders need to work together. They need to be activated to implement it together. That is why I'm using a word co-implementation. We can co-implement this by having internationalization as a strategic priority for the University of Porto. And we need to enhance the international office of the University of Porto by engaging the members of the university, and every member of the university should have a shared responsibility of internationalization. So University of Porto needs to cater to the world. And the first step should be that all the communication, drafts, documents, and posts which are there in Portuguese in future should also be there in English, because the intention is to be international and to cater to the world. Use of English as an additional official language will open the world to University of Porto, because the whole world will come to know very easily all the good things and all the great activities in the University of Porto. About futuristic education, there is a need to have flexible, digital, and skill-focused education system. It is important because education has to be aligned with modern and future learners to bring the sustainability of the university. Education has to be learner-focused or student-centered, so that there is a development of employability and entrepreneurial skills amongst the students. It will help in improving the QS ranking score of academic reputation and employer reputation. These scores are really low at this point of time. So if we can focus on digital, flexible, and comprehensive education model, and if we take the advantage of the dynamics by pandemic, and we can work further on integration and consolidation of digital change happening in the university, it is very much doable. At this point of time, there are limited courses on e-learning or distance learning, lifelong learning platforms in the university, majorly serving Portuguese-speaking learners only. And also, I have seen that there is an appreciable use of LMS, Learning Management System, Moodle, in the University of Porto. What we need to do in the future is to impact the future of education by being proactive in the university. How can we impact the future of education? By launching digital courses of multiple programs in English as well as in Portuguese language. And we need to go beyond the traditional students by training the community, training the governments, providing education and training to the NGOs and businesses using online and blended training approaches. How to co-implement it is by co-creating, empowering, and developing a team of faculty members, alumni, and partners of the university who will become digital asset champions, and together in teams develop the digital assets for the university. We should also engage the students and researchers in the digitization projects and work with the expert organizations like Coursera. It can be done by creation of a new unit in the university or by an extension of the activities of an existing unit. Ultimately, it's a very critical need for the university to create the future of education by being proactive. Also, there's a need to focus on skill-based education that provides skill to the students. At this point of time, there are large portfolio of programs at the levels of certificate, diploma, undergraduate, postgraduate, and doctoral levels in the university. There are also multiple student activities, clubs, and learning events. And there are also elected or non-elected student bodies which are active. What we need is to focus on impact on the skill development through these activities and programs. So we need to promote the student achievements and learning. Students are already achieving a lot in the University of Porto, but it is not perceived properly. It is not spread out to the world. If we adopt outcome-based education and we use metrics and statistics, if we start the development of online portfolio of each student, we can actually provide the evidence, and we can create perception that can increase the credibility and brand image of the University of Porto throughout the world. We can have a progressive education system. It's a need at this point of time with multiple pathways and use of micro-credentials in the education. We need to focus on graduate attributes, which focuses on the skills of all graduates of the university, and adopt the student-centered, experiential, flipped, and blended modern methods of teaching and learning. And we need to engage students more and more on consulting, community service projects, internships, internal events, and also external, national, and international events, because through these activities, students develop their skills further. How to co-implement it is by co-creating, empowering, and developing 2 new units or sub-units of existing units. One unit I'm proposing is called Student Success Center, which will enable the creation of each student's e-portfolio, which will basically demonstrate the acquired skills of every student. It's not just being present on LinkedIn. it will help us in showcasing the learning of every student of the University of Porto. SSC will also enable to launch and coordinate students' advising and mentoring system through multi-layered advising of the students, where advisors can be the faculty members, researchers, alumni, and industry persons for every student. Then SSC will also create and coordinate the experiential activities for students through all the units and centers of the university and can relay information to the students' advisors or mentors on progress of each student. We can promote this further by using awards for best advisors or mentors, most active students, successful students, for impressive e-portfolio of students, and for best units supporting these initiatives. Another center I'm proposing is the Student Partnership Center. It is very important nowadays with the changing time that we see students as university partners. Students need to be developed as ambassadors, and formal student ambassadors should be created who will work closely with the university managers, senior leaders, and governance. Student ambassadors will also participate in the university management and governance and will also act as hubs to connect with all existing student elected and non-elected bodies at the University of Porto. So if we do all these activities, we will actually evolve our students as partners of the university, and we can together co-create the future of University of Porto. The third thing relates to the staff members and faculty members as the second thing related to the students. Why it is important to have the spanning of the boundaries. I actually lifted statements from manifesto of recent General Council election list. We need to break down the walls, foster the trust and cooperation between schools, promoting belonging to a single campus where all faculties find their space, a common space for discovery and interaction. I lifted it, I am using it because it is beautiful. I love this statement. What is the purpose of this? We have to launch transdisciplinary studies and develop transdisciplinary skills in the students. This is the future of education, transdisciplinary and interdisciplinary skills. We need to be innovative by mechanisms in the way we do the things. We may do the same things, but we may do it in different and innovative manner. We have to use new platforms for interaction and sharing, and it will also help us in improving the score of academic reputation and employer reputation gradually. Present situation is that there is a centralized online platform for notices. There is a new system which is also there. Also, there is limited online two-way or multi-way, multi-log opportunities, which I can see online. There is a limited and traditional use of social media. When I have analyzed the use of social media of the University of Porto, I have seen the use of social media is there, but it is very limited. It is a very traditional use happening there. And I could not find information about regular inter-units or inter-centers meetings or activities. Maybe it is happening, but the information is not there online for the public. Now, what is desired is that we have to create an impact on internal stakeholders. So we need to provide regular online showcasing of achievements, activities, news and events of all units and centers in English language and Portuguese language to show to the world. We need to have quarterly inter-unit meetings with shared agenda throughout the university. How to co-implement it? By launching an online platform which can be used by the heads of each unit and center, who will be responsible to upload the posts of achievements, activities, news and events of their centers and units. And it will be their key responsibility area because it will be their shared responsibility also. Preparations of quarterly inter-unit meetings by the rector office with the help of existing or new body working with all the units and centers. And we need to create an automatic system of obtaining the timely data from all centers and units for impact ranking of the university. We need to participate in the impact ranking of the university. Once we start doing it, we will be able to generate a lot of impact funds from all around the world. It will help us in getting financial strength and also in improving the branding and positioning of the university in the world. It will also inculcate a feeling of one university because this particular theme focuses on having a shared responsibility for each other. The fourth mission The theme is the community orientation and social responsibility of the university with a focus on culture and sports, which is basically the third mission and beyond. Again, I found a very beautiful statement which I have lifted from the manifesto of a recent General Council election list. University with more culture, more sport, more art, more intervention in society, closer to citizens, companies, cultures, and recreation societies. A university that intervenes, that respects, and that is respected. Very beautiful. What is the purpose? To focus on well-being and health of community, to have a transparency and to be close to the community, to preserve and evolve the heritage, arts, culture, and Portuguese language. What is the present situation? There are already initiatives like UP Tech, which are very appreciable. And there's also an emphasis on the third mission. The economic and social mission is also in focus with the contribution to the communities and the region. And I could find active web pages and tools and information for companies, alumni, and visitors, which are very appreciable. What is needed is the impact on society. Of course, we are impacting on the society at this point of time also in the University of Porto. But what is the perception about it? What people feel about it? Are all the stakeholders of the university engaged in the community? Can we create regular engagement of all the stakeholders of the university with the community by regular surveys and interactions? Can we measure and showcase the impact in the communities by all the stakeholders of the university? We should activate partnerships with the private firms using the mode of public-private partnerships, PPP model, which is very popular all over the world nowadays. And we need to activate the alumni chapters of the University of Porto actively worldwide. How to co-implement it? I'm proposing a center called Third Mission Center in the university with the key responsibility areas and goals aligned with the university strategic priorities of 4 years. This will help us in establishing University of Porto as a hallmark for third mission and beyond. The next theme is about working conditions, focusing on personal career development. The manifesto reads like, in the permanent training of its professionals versus the denial of the fundamental truth of what a university is, a space for discovery and growth. What is the purpose? Focus on well-being and health of all university members. It will help in building up the passion, commitment, loyalty, and engagement of all of us who work in the university. Ultimately, gradually, it will also help us in improving the scores of academic reputation and international faculty ratio by improving the retention. What is desired is to have an impact on internal human capital and development. And it is possible by having respect, fairness, and value of contributions of all members of the University of Porto. I can see there are various members in the University of Porto who are contributing regularly to the university. We need to value these contributions. All units need to be empowered and aligned with the University of Porto strategic priorities. There should be rewards and recognitions with regular promotions for all members. And we have to initiate the research career progression for faculty and researchers. At the same time, there should be a strategy for generation renewal, because I know the problem of increase in the age of the overall staff in the university. So we need to set up a process where young and experienced work together as teams. We need to create funds for physical spaces, equipment, and furniture. We have to have university centers in other regions of the city and in the nation, and also gradually internationally. We need to solve issues of renewal of faculty and researchers, the issues of contractual research and teaching positions, and revise outdated policies and processes of promotions. How to implement this? We need to have a new or renewed people or HR unit with the representatives from each unit or center. Review and adopt the human resource practices. Use the best human resource practices and allow co-teaching, collaborations, and new norms. Establish a permanent listening e-box on online grievance redressal system in the university. And formation of a committee to promote diversity, support females and other underrepresented groups, recruit and retain foreign staff, foreign researchers, and foreign faculty members. Ultimately, we need to create a university which is seen as the preferred destination for employees to work with the improvement of the working conditions in all dimensions.
Professor
The
Agarwal,
sixth-
you have 3 minutes to.
I received the information, Mr. President, that I have 30 minutes for presentation in the email.
We have the disorganized in terms of having 30 minutes for the first presentation, but okay, we'll allow you to go a little bit further, but not too much, please.
Okay, I'll try to wind up faster because I prepared for 30 minutes based on the communication I received. So the sixth theme is the governance. Why it is important to have strategy and management practices, because it improves the engagement and it helps in integrating the units and centers with the university. Formal democratic bodies are there, but there's a lot of demand for being more democratic, to be close to internal and external communities like student bodies, and to have standard gauges for management practices, and also to increase the diversity and social inclusion in the governance. We have to impact the governance and leadership. We have to be more close and meaningful, avoid bureaucracy, and make the university agile and fast. We have to have standards, modern standards for engaging everyone professionally, and promote the teamwork across the university and different age groups of people in the university with transparent democracy and social inclusion. How can we co-implement it? Is by changing the way we work. We need to co-design the strategic priorities. We need to engage all internal and external stakeholders. We have to do regular surveys and workshops with the members and use design thinking collaborative approach. We have to have shared strategic priorities and commitment from all stakeholders with annual goals, objectives, KPIs, and KRAs. And we have to include finalized themes of issues which we are seeing today here with the regular measurement of KPIs, adjustments, feedbacks as per the timelines. So shared and participative governance with integration and a spirit of focus on one university is important here. Financial sustainability and positioning sustainability is also important. I could not find any sustainability document for public or any sustainability goals across the university. We need to create sustainability documents and it should be a part of the strategic priorities. We have to have new sources of funds and income generating research projects and also we have to create the support system to staff, project and funding programs. We also need to create and promote identity, brand and purpose of University of Porto and communicate it internally and externally. How to co-implement it is by co-designing, working together, by co-creating through the rector office with the support of general council and existing and new planning bodies. We have to also have strong marketing and promotion where we can share the stories of our transformation and regularly broadcasting it to external internal stakeholders in Portuguese and English language. Sustainability doesn't mean only activities. It is also creating the right perception in the minds of the world. So this is the 4-year plan focusing on transforming education, transforming lives, and transforming the future. It starts with transforming ourselves, first of all. When we transform ourselves, we can transform the university with stability, without creating chaos, by having collaborative, engaging, inclusive, empowering, non-threatening stability. And I am a person who focuses more on the process. So the process and methods are more important than that of agenda. How to do it? This is the strategic plan flow. We will create a unit level 4-year strategic priorities, which will be also converted into annual goals of the university, which will help each unit or center to develop annual objectives aligned with the goals. And each staff member of the university, each member of the university will have their own KRAs or KPIs aligned with the annual objectives. So regular formative feedback and reviews will be provided in the work, and there will be a mentoring system for each person. I have already shared one document through Reitor about the implementation plan with 7 milestones, which you can refer, it's self-explanatory. More importantly, why this plan will work, why I have confidence that this plan will work for University of Porto, because we are doing it through co-creation, using involvement and engagement of everyone, using design thinking approach, because it highlights shared, democratic, engaging, participative, and it is owned by everyone. So it is a responsibility of everyone. All staff members, stakeholders, including students, can notice the growth and development when the change and transformation happens. It is also supportive, non-threatening, it is transformative, but stable. And the most beautiful part is that every member of the university will have a clear set of expectations of what we expect from them. There will be regular guidelines for them, training and feedback will be provided to ensure the success due to the growth in confidence of all stakeholders. So this plan is smart, specific because it is around goals and objectives. It is measurable because we have KRAs and KPIs. It is actionable because there are clear expectations. It is relevant because it is aligned to the strategy, and it is time bound because it has timelines of annual and regular formative feedback. What are the benefits? There will be positive impact on the rankings. We can be closer to the top 100 world rankings using this plan and implementing this plan together. There will be a high level of engagement from all stakeholders, internally, externally, and community to achieve these strategic priorities. It will not be work of just selected people. Everyone in the university will have a contribution to this. It will also increase in initiatives and innovations from all staff members. And it will help in resolutions of all the issues and fulfillment of needs with empowerment, mentoring, and coaching culture built in the university. We have resources already in terms of commitment, participation. I can see there's a lot of commitment in the university members already. We need to provide some guidelines, conduct some workshops, and other tools should be prepared for all stakeholders for each step of the plan. There are some limitations and risks, for example, in case of lack of participation or lack of engaging style of heads of other centers, and also in case of non-clear expectations or non-attendance in the workshops, or if people start ignoring the guidelines. But then there are ways to manage these also. Obrigado. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Professor Agarwal, for your presentation, which ends the part one of this audit. Let's now begin the second part, which, as you know, is fulfilled by the questions that members of the General Council will address to you, and by your answer. I have several inscriptions. I will give the floor to the member of the council for the member of the council, which will ask you a question during more or less 1 minute, and you will have 2.5 minutes to answer him, and this will continue till the end of the part two of this audit. The first question is Hugo Mendonça.
I'm not able to hear. The mic is not working.
Mais alto. Fala mais alto. Não. Tem que falar alto. Não está ligado, não está ligado.
Sorry, my fault. Good morning, Professor. Thank you for your candidacy to Rector of the University of Porto. Like we say in Ghana, Akwaba. I'm going to ask you, taking in account that limitation imposed by legal regime of higher education institutions, how the representativeness of some bodies, namely students and non-teaching staff, into various management boards of the university, how does the professor see the possibility of creating consulting or formal advisory groups made up of elements of aforementioned groups on the community that will provide the rector with reality and expectation of 32,000 of students and at least 1,700 technical staff?
That's a wonderful question. So I understand that what I propose is going to be effective in terms of inclusion of the non-teaching staff members, students, and the advising system, how it will address the needs of a large population. So this is my answer here. There are two different responses I can give to you. One is that there is a need to engage, empower, and provide a belief to the others, to other different stakeholders, that they are involved in the university affairs and they are getting the support. And when I say ambassadors of the students or representatives of other groups, when we work closely with them, they are the people who can relate with others. For example, student ambassadors relate with other students very well as compared to a faculty member relating to the other students. So this is a very general and a very common practice across the universities I have seen. It helps in ownership and creating a responsibility and creating a kind of culture of partnerships among different stakeholders of the university. So the first response is that it helps in creation of a feeling of ownership and responsibility throughout the members of the university, which are faculty, non-faculty, and students. The second response is that it creates the perceptions, right perceptions. If we do all the good things inside a forest, which nobody is seeing around, outside the forest, it means we have not done it. This is the world where a peacock dancing in the forest, nobody sees, but we have to show the dance to the world. So we have to create the right perceptions by doing the right things in the right manner. So once these groups perceive that they are listened to, that they are engaged and they are involved, then they will be pro and they will own and they will be acting as partners of the university to co-create the future of the university. And this is successfully done in many universities around the world.
Thank you.
I hope I have answered the question.
Professor Fernando Jorge Monteiro.
The mic is not working, sorry.
Now it's okay. Good morning, Professor Agarwal. Thank you very much for your application to this position. I'll go directly to my question, which is a very basic one on university management. Oh, yeah, sure. Okay, sorry. How familiar are you with the way Portuguese universities, state universities, and particularly the University of Porto, is financed in what concerns its staff, buildings, research, and lecturing activities? And how well do you know Portuguese laws and policies on these subjects? Thank you very much.
That's a wonderful question, and I also reflect on that. So it is very clear, and all of you know that I'm not from Portugal. I'm an outsider. So I'm very honest with all of you. I do not know much, but I'm ready to learn. I'm already learning through the online information available. In fact, I have requested the General Council President and Reitor to connect with me. Some group of people before this interview 1 month back, I sent requests by emails to have interactions with some people of the University of Porto so that I can know more, but unfortunately it was not arranged. So I'm curious to know more, I'm ready to learn more, and I'm already doing my research. And you know, I have not worked in many countries I have been through. This is my 6th country. Every country I go, I quickly learn and I work with the teams. If I don't know, it's okay, but all of you know it, right? And we are team members. So I rely on your knowledge. I want to empower you, create a kind of environment where you can do what you want to do with my support and my resources available to you. There are different types of funds available. University of Porto, I have not seen online, has applied for the impact funds. University of Porto is creating so much impact, which is not measured, not shown to the world. Once we do it, a lot of impact funds from all around the world will be available for University of Porto. We need to think out of the box. University of Porto has done great in 111 years, and with the innovative practices. So what I'm offering is an out of the box thinking by coming there. Fresh perspectives, ways of the world, innovative ways, and creativity. So I don't know much, but I will learn. And I rely on your knowledge. You are my support system there.
Professor Adelino Leite Moreira.
Good morning, Professor Agrawal. Thank you for your candidacy. You have indeed a large experience in other countries and institutions. Can you share with us what you consider your previous biggest achievement and how successful you were in implementing your ideas in your previous things, and how do you think this could help you in Porto, sharing with us what you consider the biggest challenge you will face in our university?
Thank you for the question. I will give example of my recent work for this question. I joined the Bluecrest University here with the agenda of change and transformation of this university. My main motive for working in the Bluecrest in Ghana is to bring up the change and transformation gradually. And I started with the restructuring. I worked with the reviews of the processes and systems. And most importantly, I worked with the teams to change the mindsets of people working in the university here. It's very important to work on the mindsets, on the way we think. You know, change management is very important. If the teams are with you, we all want to change. We all want to bring change. But when we ask, do you want to change yourself? There are a lot of reservations. We have to first work on that aspect. And that is how I work in most of the institutions I have been to. So I have successfully implemented the change and transformation in the Bluecrest University. And I have successfully created these two centers, which I proposed in the presentation, student success centers and student ambassadors. I have successfully built up the research culture in this university here, and I have successfully improved the marketing, promotion, and sustainability of these institutions. I have made it also international and more connected with the industry. So all the plans which I have in my mind, which I presented in the University of, here in the Bluecrest University in Ghana, about 90% of it is already achieved. I cannot claim 100%, but I have created a platform. I have created the systems and the processes and the mindsets which can be taken further by the future rector to develop it further. I have started the process here, and I hope when I come to the University of Porto, I can start building with the help of all the members of the university in a very engaging method. Of course, I may not be able to completely complete all the activities proposed here, but it will be a good start to begin with. A good platform will be created. And if you ask some specific things apart from the Bluecrest, I can tell you about the accreditations and approvals. I can talk about the new methods of teaching called co-teaching happening in the universities because of the creative ways where a faculty member and a researcher goes to the class together, teaming up of the people who work together, spanning the boundaries by having the professional work environment where the KRAs or KPIs of each staff member is very clear with clear expectations, aligned with the university goals. So a balance of professionalism and teamwork and relationship has always helped me. And that is how I work using design thinking approach, collaborative methods, engaging everyone, and with the participation of everyone. So the way of working is very important.
Your time is
I could achieve these things because of the way I work.
João Pedro Silva.
Good morning, Professor. Thank you for your presentation. My question is about governance too. What's your view on student participation and enrollment in university governance? And what's the role of this student ambassador that you talked about during your presentation? So what does he do and how is chosen? Thank you.
Thank you. It's a fantastic question and one of my favorite questions. When it comes to students, I'm always excited. So students at this point of time are very energetic. Students are very active. We need to channel them. We need to channel their energy. So we have started an initiative in Bluecrest here by making student ambassadors in different categories. So there are student ambassadors who help in recruitment. There are student ambassadors who are connected with alumni. There are student ambassadors who go and do recruitment events with the marketing and recruitment office. So students as ambassadors are involved because when the students go in a recruitment activity and talk to the potential students, they can connect well with the potential students as recruiter of the university who is a staff member. So there are specific responsibilities for each ambassador which they own, they are responsible for, and they take pride in working with the university management and governance. And they get a lot of reward and appreciation, and they develop their skills, which they can put in the students' e-portfolio. That I am a student of the University of Porto, I am working with the management and governance, and these are the activities I have done with pictures and videos, and these are the reflections and skills I have developed through this work. So, if we make a proper system and we design the process, students actually can do wonders for the universities. And it is already happening in many universities around the world. I'm not claiming that this is my idea. I am a researcher, I practice my own research. So when I research, I focus on how can I be better practitioner. I'm a reflective practitioner. And I research how other universities around the world are working regularly. And I start stealing the best ideas. I'm a thief also in a way. So this is how I work.
Professor António Sarmiento.
Thank you. Good morning. Good morning,
Good morning.
Professor Agarwal. I want only to greet you and also to thank you for your candidacy. I have appreciated your presentation, but I have no questions to ask. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Because you have no questions, but can I still give you an answer? Is it possible to give an answer without a question?
Yes, you have 2 minutes and a half.
Yeah, I take this opportunity to share one more my view about the leadership or the rector's role. It's about the approach and outcome of the leadership. A rector or a leader should create a sustainable, conducive environment in the university by creating the systems of resources and support, by reviewing and reworking on the processes and policies, by developing the culture of direction, mentoring, and coaching of the members of the university, by working on effective mindsets. This all, if a rector does in a co-creation, in a co-design manner with design thinking, will create other leaders in the university. So a leader's role is to create other leaders. How do we see rector? Do we see rector as a hero who solved all the problems having some magic pills? No, the rector should be seen as a servant leader who should be following servant leadership. There are no magic pills, there's no instant cure. Rector is not a heroic leader, rector is a servant to the university. All members of the university need to work as teams. We have to be collaborative. All of us have to own and be responsible. When we provide questions, we have to provide questions with possible answers. When we have problems, we have to discuss problems with possible solutions. When we show concerns, we have to show concerns with ways to resolve them. So what I'm suggesting here is that all of us have the power to work together as a team, as one university, in a collaborative manner to solve all the problems, issues, and concerns, and to take the university to the next level. Thank you.
Thank you. Professor Adriano Carvalho.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. President. Okay. Good morning, Professor Agarwal. Thank you for candidating to the rector of the University of Porto position. And thank you for your program and good presentation. You presented us with your approach, your analysis about present situation of University of Porto in two missions, in education mission and third mission, knowledge transfer, community service. But you miss a bit your approach, your thoughts about the second mission, about research and development activities. You verified we have 50 Leus research centers. Surely you verified also we have a lot of them ghosted by the university, and someone's participated,
The question.
shared by the University of Porto with other stakeholders, society stakeholders. I would like to hear you about this research mission based on your experience in 5 countries. You have moved from east to west, and now you candidate to move from west to the north. And your experience, sure, is significant. I would like to hear you about. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for the question. And it's a wonderful observation. So thank you for this observation also. I have not pointed out in a separate slide about research, but if you see my notes and my presentation slides, you will see research which is there in almost every slide. So I see research as an integral process of a university. And when I talk about research in the University of Porto, I talk about the career of researchers. I talk about how faculty members and researchers are seen as separate bodies, where the faculty members should also be doing the research with the researchers, maybe as a team. So researchers are there in my presentation, not separately, but as integral part of different slides and different themes. In all the themes, researchers are there. Now, in my previous positions and roles in different countries, my first way to work with them is to understand the context there. You know, when I come to Ghana, I cannot just transplant the activities and the processes of the Dubai, UAE from where I'm coming. I have to understand the context. So every country, every institution has their own culture and context, which I have to understand first. So what I have basically done in some of the countries I can explain. For example, in Malaysia, we have created research clusters and research themes for the universities, and we positioned the Faculty of Business and Design as per a list of research themes or the focus of research for the university that guides the future researchers based on the need of the region there, so that the research can address the needs of that region. And there are 2 wings of research, theoretical research and application-based research. Lot of community members and students and non-teaching staff members also started getting involved in the application-oriented research. You will see industry people. I worked very closely with the industry people in the research activities of the Swinburne University in Malaysia, because it's not a theoretical research. Application research, the industry members, non-researchers can also participate. And we developed a lot of case studies with the industries so that the students can get advantage of research. Research is not something separate from the university activities. Research is an integral part of whatever we do in research. It should support the university internally, and externally it should create an impact also. So research is something very important, and we need to understand the way we do research, the way research has an outcome for every member of the university and for the world.
Thank you. Professor Fátima Marinho.
Good morning. Thank you for your application to the University of Porto, for your presentation. But I have here a doubt about governance. You have only spoken about the rector. I heard nothing about the team you want to work with. And if you think, talking about the team, I dare to answer, if you think it's easy to lead an university, to be the leader of one university without knowing the language, the culture, the ways of thinking, the laws, the rules, and so on. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you for this excellent question. And I know it is never easy when I go to the other countries with different cultures. For example, when I went to Malaysia from India, it was a different culture. I never knew Malaysian language. When I went to Philippines, I never knew Filipino language. When I come to Africa, I don't know African language even now, right? So language can be a barrier, but at the same time, as one of the council members asked, do you know anything about the University of Porto? I said, yes, a little bit, but not much. I don't know, and I accept it. But there are people in my team who work with me and they know it, right? So it is not easy, I accept it. It is a challenge, I accept the challenge, but I have confidence. I have confidence for the team. As I said, rector is not a leader. I want to say rector is not a leader. Rector is a servant for other leaders to empower other leaders of the organization, of the university, to provide support to the other leaders. So I know there are language barriers, and I am already planning to learn Portuguese language. I know there is a program of Portuguese language that starts in September there. I will enroll there, I'll start learning the language, but I cannot be an expert in the Portuguese language, may not be an expert in 4 years also. And it doesn't deter me, because I have full support of the team. In Ghana here, there are many people who work only with the African language, and we're working effectively because of the support system, the team, right? So the rector is not a leader. The rector is a servant of the leaders and create other leaders and support other leaders. This is the way I work.
Professor Sofia Marques da Silva.
Thank you. Hello, Professor Agrawal. Thank you for your presentation and also for your efforts to make a portrait of the University of Porto from an outsider perspective, which is always good for us to see ourselves through your eyes as well. So my question regards also research, and in particular the open access policy. Well, as you know, this will become in the near future mandatory. Well, we are still doing that at some extent, in particular when we have public funding of our project, but this will become mandatory. Of course, that this will create some unfairness among different disciplines that are not funded in the same way with the same amount, and this will create, of course, a snowball of inequalities among researchers. So from your, and I think this needs a collective and a national action, an international action, because we all know there's a lot of business regarding this. So my question is, from your leadership position, what would be your actions to lobby to make this less unfair among researchers and among different disciplinary fields? Thank you.
Thank you for the question. I think this is a matter of how we perceive the university and the departments of the university. And the way we perceive it, we create a culture of perception amongst the other members of the university. If we as a leader think the departments as separate departments, not as one university, then the different departments and centers will also think about their departments first and later about the university. If we can create a spirit of one university, and we are honest and transparent, and we accept that, yes, this is something going to be unfair in some manner to other departments, but it is fair to the university, and you are a family member of the university. And there are ways and means, because it's a matter of creating trust. For example, I'll give you an example from the Blue Crest University here. Some funds came for the School of Fashion and Design, which is a fund for creative businesses, because School of Fashion and Design is a fund for creative businesses. These funds were not available for business and communication and for the information technology school, right? But no one complained and everyone was happy. You know why? Because they all see, okay, it is for the university. It is not for my department, but the university is getting benefit. And ultimately, these benefits will be distributed, will be provided to everyone in the university, not limited to only one department and school. That trust is there, that feeling is there, that perception is there. And I have seen this situation, this kind of context and these kind of situations in other universities I work with, in Malaysia also, in Swinburne University of Technology in Malaysia. This is a similar situation. Sometimes one department gets some kind of benefit, but it creates, first of all, a jubilation amongst all the university. And as leaders, what is our role? Our role is to create a conducive environment by developing the trust in everyone. If we engage everyone from all the departments, and if we are making a confidence that the benefits will be there ultimately in some form, if not now, later, to everyone in the university, people gets buy-in. Every department will be collaborating with you. So this is the way we work. The answer is not in my statement. The answer is in the way we work in the university, the way we bring collaborations, and the way we integrate departments and create the feeling of one university in the members. Their answer lies there. Answer is not in a magic pill for this kind of question.
Thank you. Professor Luís Antunes.
So, thank you, Professor Agarwal, for your application to the University of Porto. So, I really enjoyed your presentation. I think it was really smart for you that were missing information besides the information online, to gather all of the information, and in particular from the manifestos of all of the lists that apply to the General Council. So it was really smart, and thank you for that. But I have one question that, based on your experience and based on the partial information that you got online, so you are missing the local information, which would be the most impact measure that you would guess that would allow University of Porto to climb the ladders until the first 100 positions in the international rank? If you have to identify just one with the most impact, which one would it be?
Thank you for the wonderful question. If you see my presentation notes, you will find that lying in the first few slides only. So when we're talking about statistics, the scores of QS World University Ranking, we're talking about numbers. If you see the lowest number for University of Porto comparable to other competitive universities of University of Porto, I have done the analysis of University of Porto ranking, world ranking of QS. Just notice the international faculty ratio score of QS World Ranking. It is 2.1. It's a very, very low score. It's a very, very low score of 2.1. Right? And it is very easy to improve this score. If you can improve this score, the overall ranking will improve further. We will struggle to improve the ranking of research because the ranking of research score is already good. What is the gap? International faculty ratio. Again, the another gap is academic reputation, employers' reputation. And the next gap is the student to faculty ratio. If we can work and put these in our strategic priority for the next 4 years in the university, work on these 4 fronts, the rankings will definitely go up. I cannot promise top 100, but yes, near 100, 150. In 4 years, we can definitely achieve it. But we need to be analytical, we need to be intentful, and we need to plan and structure this. This is how best of the universities work. They work with the numbers, they work with the priorities, and align the priorities to improve the numbers and the scores. And these scores dictate the rankings. Thank you.
Professor Luís Belchior.
Okay, thank you, Professor Agarwal, for your presentation and courage to apply to this position. In fact, I really like your clear and detailed presentation about an overall view and vision of the University of Porto. But I was just asking myself, really, what was your driving force to apply to this position? I mean, what was the main attraction and the opportunities that you really trigger your decision to apply to this position? Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for the question. I have 2 answers for this question. One is a little bit answer with the humor. As one of the council member mentioned that I have traveled from east to west. Now I want to come to north. So I see University of Porto as the next destination for me to come to north to complete the cycle of the world. So that is first answer. But the serious answer is this. I see myself as a person whose career is situated with the desire to make an impact, to make a difference, to contribute, and to build an institution. And when I noticed the advertisement of University of Porto, I did a lot of research about the university before applying. You can see my cover letter, which I have prepared. That also will show you my research and analysis of the university. And I confirmed that my professional goals of building the institution, making a difference, creating an impact, it is possible with the resources, availability, and willingness of the University of Porto. And I'm sure because of my professional goals, because of the way I work, because of my international experience, creativity and innovation, I'm a fit for the University of Porto, and I can really work here and make a difference and bring the university to the next level in the rankings and beyond rankings also. This confidence actually provided me the courage, as you're talking about the courage to apply. And even after knowing that till now, none of the past 20 rectors were from outside the Portugal, but I'm still taking the courage to apply because I know I can make an impact. I can work with all of you to make an impact, and I can make a process and a system and a platform that after 4 years, if I leave, this will continue because I can create a legacy there.
Thank you, Professor Agrawal and colleagues. The direct inscriptions are over. As we have still 15 minutes that we can use, I would like to ask if there is a colleague, any colleague that wants to make another question, because we still have 15 minutes and we can still hear Professor Agrawal for 15 minutes more. Otherwise, I would, if there is no answers, no questions, I would like to ask Professor Agrawal if you would like to address a final statement to all of us, and we will finish with that with your address.
Yeah, I never prepared a final statement in this for this thing, but I'll just speak my mind. When I saw the advertisement of University of Porto, I reflected whether it is for me. Should I apply? Should I spend my 30 to 40 hours of time for research, creating an application, creating a 4-year plan, and I devote my time with an uncertain outcome? I'm glad that I did it. I learned a lot from this research and analysis. I learned a lot from this presentation and the interaction session today. So thank you for this opportunity. Thank you for interacting with me. Also, I was contacted by journalists for some interviews, and I'm getting immersed into Europe, into Portugal, into University of Porto. Irrespective of the outcome, I have gained a lot of learning. I'm a learner. I'm an avid learner. And I think I should thank all of you to provide this opportunity of learning to me by creating this advertisement and by interactive session here. What I want to say basically is that I want to just describe my learning through this interesting career journey in different countries, working with different institutions. And I want to just share essence of my learning, some key points of my learning. The first point which I have learned through my career journey of 20 years is that we all need to focus a lot on the methods of the things we do, the way we work, not only on the outcomes. I have always used this approach. When we act as a leader can be in the classroom, a teacher also. A leader can be even a clerk or a secretary of a president, because leadership is intentional. Everyone is a leader. And the most important part of a leadership work is the way we work. Are we sensitive to others? Are we giving respect to others? Are we creating other leaders as a leader? So I will say that I will be successful in case I work with the University of Porto as a rector, if after 4 years, with the leadership approach, multiple leaders are created within the University of Porto from different stakeholders. And these leaders can take their own initiatives by taking the ownership and their initiatives to bring the university to the next level. I have found emails coming from the University of Porto professor about the problems, but I have not seen the possible solutions in that email. So that shows a culture where people are putting up the problems, but where is the ownership of saying, okay, this is a suggestive solution for that. Can we work together to solve that problem? Maybe it is there, and maybe I have a limited knowledge and limited data about the university. But what I see, what I perceive, and I may be wrong, that we need to create a culture of ownership, responsibility, shared vision, design thinking, working collaboratively with each other and engaging everyone in the university so that everybody thinks that this is my university, this is our university. So the process of working is very important. The way we work in our responsibility, in our role is very important. This is the biggest learning I have in my life, to work with the teams and to engage and empower others when working. So I think this is the biggest learning I want to share. And apart from that learning, there are other learning also, but I don't want to bore all of you from my lecture here. So thank you.
Thank you very much, Professor Agrawal. I think I speak in the name of all the council when I'm addressing you our most warm compliments and thanks for your efforts and for your interest on our university. And we'll see again soon, I hope. The doors of the U.Porto University will always be open to you. Thank you again, and have a nice day. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. Have a nice day.